Shakti, though it seems sort of apt, like I alluded to right now, but there are some other names at the top of the episode, like I referred to, which are not so apt, aka Gonu, aka your Larry and Bobs. And these are all actual sort of cyclone and or hurricane names. That sort of piqued my interest because some names sort of make sense and some names actually do not correspond to the amount of destruction and or havoc these natural disasters cause. And that is what I wanted to explore. What is the methodology behind all of this madness of naming these cyclones and hurricanes? I wanted to
Oh,
bring
did
that
you
up.
guys poop in the morning?
Of course, twice.
Very nice.
I feel very
I also
relieved
pooped.
and light now. But Ashmita doesn't like
Yeah.
poop talk, so let's not go there. It's fine. I don't know why. But
It's not that I don't like, there's nothing to like in poop talks.
There is
there
the
is.
feeling of being relieved, the feeling of,
Yeah, I
you
agree.
know, I don't know how to explain this, but the feeling after you poop is great. Like
Yes.
there should be a
Okay.
word for it. I think it's on record. I think there should be a word for it. And
Okay.
after the episode is over, we should come up with a word for it,
Maybe
Sandy.
maybe this is a job for the people who are competing for the Ig Nobel prizes.
Oh, yes.
This is something
Yeah,
that
true.
might be right up their alley.
There's no science to coming up with the words, so
I'm sure we can find some science in that.
Yeah.
no.
What do you mean, no?
Etymology has no science, Sandy. It's just language development over years.
Okay, we'll have a scientific name and a regular name.
Nonsense.
You know how people feel compelled to go to the loo after having coffee in the morning? How they feel like they,
Yeah,
they need to they need to go take a dump right after that. That's also because of science, obviously. Uh,
obviously.
yeah, yeah. So there's a reason why that happens, and it's not just some version of the medical thing, dude. Placebo. It's not some kind of a placebo,
Hmm.
Wow,
right?
you were thinking of placebo for so long.
Yeah, dude. I just blanked out completely. You of
I
all
thought
people
it's
cannot laugh at everyone for forgetting shit. Okay, like I'll keep reminding you this till the end of time because you
Of
constantly
course
keep
I can
forgetting
laugh.
everything. No, you can't.
Yeah, but I still can laugh at other people. That's how it works.
Nonsense. By the
I'm
way,
going to Nashik tomorrow.
So
There
are you
is.
excited?
I am actually.
Yeah.
One, I want to see how living in tier two cities also feel. So I want to go there. And secondly, I want to see the atelier, all the work. So for
Hmm.
listeners who have no context, if we are putting this, the company I'm working with, Jivya, their main atelier is in Nashik. Like it's the home ground, right? And it's been a couple of months I'm working with them, but I haven't seen the actual physical place. So much shit we have to do, that we have to sit together and do, that we have postponed it all to this week.
Mhm.
And it's going to just be insane. But the good thing is I have made travel plans for end of the month also. I'm going to Singapore, and then next year I'm going to Europe. So Sandy, I will not be bothering you for a bit to go anywhere.
Yeah, you will pretty much forget it half an hour from now, and we'll start again. So it's
No,
pointless.
but I
So
Prakhar, I do this. Do you know about
Yeah.
this?
What?
Sandy hates traveling, right? Every
Yeah.
time we are traveling, after we are back, I'm like, okay, now my compulsion to travel and to go places is done. Now I'll not bother you for a while. Literally within a week, I'll be like, let's plan the next trip. And it's like, what the fuck?
I always say this to Ashmita. Ashmita, either in the past life or she's been possessed by the ghost of a posh white woman. She has all the tastes and eccentricities of a posh white woman. She's just stuck in a poor brown body. That's all. Otherwise, inside out, she's a posh white woman, like extremely posh white woman.
That's
Yeah.
possible, actually.
It's not, I'm absolutely sure of that. If you do
You
some
know,
kind of past life regression therapy or something, no, you 100% you are a posh white woman.
It's been half an hour. We are just chatting. Sandy, segue.
yeah.
No, there is no segue with this. There are just some names which are either they don't fit the occasion or they don't fit the person or the personality, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
And yes, so that is what I wanted to sort of tackle, but the naming is not of people, but of some other thing. Let me pose this question to you guys. What do these things have in common? These names: Bob, Freddy, Larry, Mocha, Gonu, Katrina, Sandy. Any ideas?
A lazy naming thing. That's what it seems like to me.
Any guesses
Short
on
and
your behalf?
simple, short and easy to, I don't know, remember all of them.
To a
Are
certain
they the
extent,
most
both
popular?
of you are right. But what I'm
Hmm.
specifically referring to is these are all the names of actual cyclones and or hurricanes, right?
Mm.
And that is basically what I wanted to explore in this episode.
Imagine
So,
a cyclone called Golu. That is so
not Golu,
cute.
Gonu.
Gonu. Okay. Gonu
Yeah.
is also cute. Gonu is also
Yeah,
an excessively cute name for a
Yeah.
cyclone or a
yeah.
hurricane, whatever.
So, as most of my episodes start the other day, which was basically yesterday, because I prepared for this episode yesterday only. So, I was scrolling through the news, and by news, I basically mean Twitter, because that's where I get most of my news from, to nobody's surprise. And like any responsible adult out there, I was broadening my horizons. And by that, I specifically mean doom scrolling. So there I came across a news claiming that Cyclone Shakti was in full swing in Maharashtra. And this is very current news. So we are recording this on the 5th of October, listener.
Yeah.
And as of 5th of October, there is a cyclone going on in Maharashtra called Shakti. And that sort
Oh.
of seems like a very appropriate name, right? Shakti in Sanskrit translates to power. And that is a very appropriate name for a cyclone, one would imagine, right? Because the sheer amount of destruction and the capability
Yeah.
of a natural disaster like a cyclone is that it pretty much destroys everything in its path. And that's why Shakti seems like a very apt name for a cyclone. And this caught my interest because Shakti, though it seems sort of apt, like I alluded to right now, but there are some other names at the top of the episode, like I referred to, which are not so apt, aka Gonu, aka your Larry and Bobs. And these are all actual sort of cyclone and or hurricane names. That sort of piqued my interest because some names sort of make sense and some names actually do not correspond to the amount of destruction and or havoc these natural disasters cause. And that is what I wanted to explore. What is the methodology behind all of this madness of naming these cyclones and hurricanes? If you had to guess, any guesses?
Is it does it have anything to do with the person who's naming it or something like that?
Good guess, but no. No. That's
How
actually,
is it a
that's
good guess
actually,
then?
no, it's actually pretty, because that would be my first guess as well. Like, there's a person named Bob who found this cyclone or hurricane approaching, and they're like, okay, fine. What's the first name? I'll
It's
name it
now
after.
Bob.
It's yeah, because I discovered this natural phenomenon taking place, so I'll name it after myself. Sort of makes
Yeah.
sense because a lot of your celestial bodies were named in the same, like Halley's comet. It was named after
Yeah.
the literal person who discovered that comet,
Really.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So sort of
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. But I can imagine why they wouldn't want a hurricane to be named after themselves. Like that's fair. I have literally no other guess. Like zero
No,
guesses.
that's
And
fine.
Prakhar is getting coffee. So
Yeah. Yeah. You know how they say giving something a name almost humanizes them. No, that's why they say when you don't want to feel attached to something or someone, no, just don't give them a human-ish name, and you don't get attached
it,
to it. So,
it did not work. I just want to say it did not work. Because for one whole year, I kept calling the community kitty at our earlier place Kitty, and I miss her every day. So I just want to say After we moved homes, just for some context, after we moved homes,
Kitty is
we
also a
left
name, you
behind
know
the
that, right?
community.
That's also a
I mean,
name.
yeah, what do I call a cat? Hello,
Yes,
cat. No,
yes.
that's very impersonal. But anyway, I miss her every single day. But please go ahead. Go on.
Yeah. So the idea is, why are we trying to humanize these natural disasters that leave so much destruction in their wake? Why are we humanizing them to the extent that we're
Yeah,
giving them names and all of that? It almost seems very personal to a certain extent, right?
yeah.
Why don't we just refer to them as the great wrath of nature or this so and so natural disaster and just leave it at that? Why do we persist with your Bobs and Freddies and Larrys and Mochas and Gonus? So,
Yeah, it's the cute names. It's this harmless names that gets to me. Like Shakti, I understand, you
yeah,
know, with with the power and
yeah.
translating to power. But Bob? Why Bob?
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Let's be very honest. That sounds like someone who accidentally set off the fire alarm while microwaving popcorn or something. Like that's a Bob, not
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah, yeah.
not a
Very
natural
well put,
disaster,
Sandy.
right? Naturally and understandably, I hope I went down this rabbit hole of finding out why the fuck do we do this in the first place? Because this always intrigued me and this gave me an opportunity to explore this. And of course, the deeper I went, the weirder it got. Like most things on this podcast, and especially with the episodes that I pick up, because these are mostly things that I am interested in that you guys get to sit through. You know, I literally take no one
True.
else's interest while preparing for these episodes. So today's episode is all about how we name these massive, terrifying storms and why some of them sound like they belong on a kindergarten roll call instead of being forces of nature. So I want to start off with something very basic. Does anyone here know what the difference is between a cyclone, a typhoon, and a hurricane?
No, no, genuinely not.
I,
Like,
I mean,
I will
we've
just be
heard of
guessing.
all these phenomenons, right?
Ah,
But we've never
I
stopped.
think so.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
I
Go
think
on.
it is the different names are. It depends on when it touches ground, when it is it does it have to do anything with when it touches ground and when it rains or I think
No,
I'm just no, okay.
no, it doesn't.
Or
But
maybe the
good try.
speed. I think
Good try.
it depends on the speed also.
I appreciate you at least going for it. So, this is what I
It
like.
dep it does it have to be
No, no, no.
with its
No,
speed.
no, 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 no. So
Oh.
that's what I also used to think. To my surprise, the thing is, we've always sort of nodded along to people talking about hurricanes and cyclones and typhoons, but we never really thought about what the difference might be, right?
Hmm.
Mhm.
Well, the difference is that there is no difference. They're all pretty much the same natural phenomenon.
Then
I
why do
So
had
we
a
call
better
them different
argument
shit?
then.
What nonsense.
they are all the same weather phenomenon, a rotating system of clouds, thunderstorms, and high winds formed over warm ocean waters. So there is a pressure differential, and I don't know the exact science behind it. I tried reading it, but I didn't want to because it just got too complicated very quickly for me.
Yeah.
But you can do this in your own time. But the basic gist of it is because of the warm ocean water, there's a pressure differential created, and that's why the cloud starts swirling around pretty massive at very high speeds, and there are thunderstorms accompanying them. So all three of them are pretty much the same thing. The only difference, if anything, is the geography and the nomenclature. I'll come to this now. So hurricanes happen in the Atlantic Ocean and Northeast Pacific. So basically, if a storm like this is threatening a Florida or a Texas, it's called a hurricane. That's
Okay.
that's about it, right? Typhoons are more of a Southeast Asian phenomenon, forming in the Northwest Pacific. So near your Japan, the Philippines, China, etc. If it takes place there, it's called a typhoon. And cyclones cover the South Pacific and Indian Ocean regions. So around your India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and to some parts of Australia. So it's more of a geographical thing rather than some kind of other difference. I don't know why Prakhar is giving me thumbs down, but that's what the science says. So take it up with the scientists. Okay, this is not something I decided.
I had a better argument, by the way.
Not really.
What is this? If it's in Florida, we'll call it hurricane. If it is, what is a stupid argument, man?
What do you mean? There must be some reason behind it. No, people much, much, much smarter than all three of us put together decided this. So I'll go with it.
No.
Okay,
Wait a
I'm not
second. They
sure
were
of that.
Americans. They were Americans.
I
Oh,
mean,
So no.
wow.
there are scientists in America also, no? Again,
Yes, but
Oh,
American
wow.
scientist.
Oh,
no. And
wow,
not all of this was decided by
Prakhar.
American scientists again. So,
Mm.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I am not a big fan of America, but I will put my foot down where you are wrong. Scientists anywhere, I have massive respect for them, right? So if people have decided this, I'll just go
Sure,
with the flow because I have
sure.
nothing better to offer
Okay.
in this regard, right?
Fair,
So
fair.
when you hear Cyclone Freddy, Typhoon Hagibis, and Hurricane Sandy, you're hearing different names for basically the same angry spinning monster, just with sort of a regional branding. It's more like a branding thing, right? So people in some certain areas call it something different, people in certain other areas call it something different, but it's basically the same thing. So it's kind
Yeah.
of like your Pepsi, Coke, and Thumbs Up, all fizzy, all unhealthy, all dark in color, just slightly different vibe. That's basically what your cyclones, hurricanes, and typhoons are. Now we come to the most important part. Why name them at all? Like, why do we name them in the first place, right? And what was the thought process behind it? Let's back up for a second. Why do we even name cyclones and hurricanes? Like, what's wrong with just calling them really bad storms or the one where the cow flew away or something like that, right? So,
Or maybe some more like names that are more representative of the destruction that they cause instead of such innocent ass names.
fair. Yeah, why not? Why not that? Well, before names, that's basically what people did. So, in the 1800s and early 1900s, storms were identified by their location. For example, the 1900 Galveston hurricane. That's what they used to refer to as this historical event in the past.
See,
Or
this is much better.
good,
But there
glad
are
you
too
said
many
that.
now, no?
Glad you said that. And the second way they went about naming them was their date, the Great Storm of November 1977, as
See,
an
it makes
example,
sense.
right? Which
I
is
don't think it
fine.
makes
Which
sense.
is fine until you get three storms in the same month,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's what. The number
Then which one are you referring
increases.
to specifically,
Yeah.
right? And suddenly you're mixing up destruction, references, dates, contexts, everything.
So much more difficult to remember. Like,
Exactly.
Bob,
Keeping a
easy to
track of these
remember.
things becomes a nightmare, absolute nightmare, because the data is irrelevant then because you're mixing up data all over the place. So for people to track the such things, it becomes a nightmare to track them also because you don't know which one specifically you're referring to. And it's very easy to fuck that up, right? Down the line.
It's
If
like Prakhar. It's like you being referred to as Srivastav family's second son, but or younger child. But then what about the other Srivastav family's younger children? You can't just do thumbs down to them.
that
That's
was a
not.
very bad analogy, but yeah, I get where you're coming from. Like horrible, horrible, literally.
See, see, when there are
It
people flying here and there, cows are flying here and there, I think it is okay if the data is flying here and there.
no, that is not
No,
true.
how will you
It's
prevent
not
that
true.
from taking place in the future? That's
Prakhar,
why
you have issues, Prakhar.
there is a reason why
And I'm saying
record
it is,
keeping record keeping is not being done for fun, not for shits and giggles. It's being done to ensure that such an event doesn't take place
it
again,
can
or
be,
if it takes place, to deal with it in the best way possible.
Yeah,
it
you
can be
study from
fun.
it.
It can be fun.
You are
We can make
bad,
it
Prakhar.
fun.
You have lost your mind.
So scientists and meteorologists figured something out. Naming storms makes them easier to track, report, and warn people about. Makes sense, right? It's very pragmatic. The World Meteorological Organization actually explains that giving names to storms helps avoid confusion and makes communication faster, especially in emergency situations. We're tracking so far, right? And the WMO, the World Meteorological Organization, is the one responsible for all this nomenclature and the guidelines and all of that. That is the body that keeps track of all of this. The logic
I
is
mean,
sound. Yeah.
naming I don't think there's any doubt as to why you would name a hurricane, cyclone, or typhoon. The
Yeah.
question is, why do you name them the way you do?
That is fair. That is fair. I mean, hopefully I'll be able to address a little bit of it, but let me just spoil this. There is no scientific reason behind giving them these names, right?
Thank you for not waiting right till the end the way you did last time, Sandy.
But I wanted to edge everyone. Edging is so much fun.
I hated that. I hated that. That was, in case listeners, you haven't listened to it, go back to the episode on OK, which was our last, last to last
Episode
episode. I
12.
don't
It was episode 12.
episode 12.
Yeah.
And Sandy fully promises what I wanted to discover right at the beginning, and in the end pours water on it. So cold water. So anyway, thanks for not doing this till the end. Now I will not hang on to my seat. Please go ahead, Sandy.
Anyway, so yeah, talking about the naming, the logic is sound. The execution, however, sometimes may be a bit questionable. And that's what we'll get to next. So now we'll come to the wild history of storm naming. So how did we go from terrifying natural disasters to names like Debbie and Bob? So in the late 1800s, Australian meteorologist. Huh, I was right. Australian meteorologist.
You were right, yes.
Yeah, it just sounded wrong to me. I don't know why. So I just wanted to take a pause and reconsider it. Anyway, in the late 1800s, Australian meteorologist Clement Ragg was one of the first to start naming storms. He sometimes named them after the politicians he didn't like. Which
That is very good. Yes, I
Yeah.
fully support that.
Yeah, this sort of makes sense, right? You hate someone. I mean, if that isn't the epitome of pettiness, I don't know what is. Like Ashmita, I think you'll definitely appreciate this,
I
right?
have already named like 10 hurricanes in my mind right now.
Care to share some?
Yes, of course. See, all of them are two syllables, right? So which is makes it easy. It is Modi, it is Amit, it is Yogi, it is well, there is one that is 3 syllables, which is Anurag. Then there is Hardeep. Then there is Gajendra. There's so many, dude.
Well, you literally started naming the entire cabinet, so I don't think that will help. So
I think the entire cabinet does deserve that, like the amount of destruction that they have caused.
yeah.
So
Anyway,
yeah.
so during the Second World War, the US military forecasters in the Pacific began using women's names for storms, mostly to simplify radio communication. So you would get a report akin to something like Hurricane Betty approaching from the east, for illustration. In 1953, the US National Weather Service formalized this practice, sticking to all female names, again, unsurprising. I mean, which, let's be honest, falls right in line with all the gender stereotypes back then and even to
Yeah.
today's time to some extent. Because nothing says casual sexism like blaming all the destruction on women, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, they did a bang up job of doing that. Anyway,
Yep.
finally in 1979, the system was updated to alternate between male and female names. I mean, if either one of you feels like celebrating this little bit of progress, now is the time to do so. Please, I mean,
Sure.
wait
This is fantastic. This is growth.
Yeah, yeah.
Naming
Significant
changes.
growth.
Of course, we have solved it. Forget about pay gap.
Yeah,
Forget
yeah.
about sexual harassment. Forget about domestic violence. No, naming hurricanes. We have sorted. This is great progress. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Tremendous progress.
So now you can also take female politician names, Ashmita. Very inclusive.
That is allowed. Anyway,
Mhm.
Yes.
today the naming process is way
To
more
be fair,
standardized. Yeah.
sorry,
Hmm.
to be fair, right at the beginning, I did try and think of female politician, like women politician names as well. But because our current cabinet has so few, it
Yeah.
is very difficult to immediately come up with any. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
yeah, let's go ahead, Sandy.
Yeah. But today the naming process is way more standardized, which brings us to how are the storm names decided in the first place? So each region of the world that faces cyclones, and I'm using cyclones as a very common name here, so you can replace it with hurricanes or typhoons like we discussed. So instead of saying cyclones and or hurricanes and or typhoons, I'll just be referring to them as cyclones here on. You can replace them with whatever. Each region of the world that faces cyclones has its own naming body. Most of them fall under the big umbrella of the WMO. Here's how it works. The process of determining names for tropical cyclones is conducted by the relevant tropical cyclone regional body at its annual or biennial session. There are five tropical cyclone regional bodies. These bodies establish pre designated lists of names which are proposed by WMO members, National Meteorological and Hydrological Services. The selection of names is based on their familiarity to the people in each region, aiming to aid in the understanding and remembrance of cyclones. The naming procedures can vary, with some regions using alphabetical order and others using the alphabetical order of country names. So it's a bit open to interpretation to a certain extent. It is important to note that tropical cyclones are not named after individuals. So, despite all of your best guesses, these are not named after actual people. So, when selecting a new name, consideration is given to certain factors such as short in character length for ease of use in communication, easy to pronounce, appropriate significance in different languages, and finally, uniqueness. Same names cannot be used in other regions. In summation, every region has their own unique set of names in an alphabetical order, which are pre-designated and pre-decided. So these are the naming is not done on the spot.
Ah,
Oh God, there's a
Mm.
storm coming. Let's start naming it now. So these are decided well in advance. So
Mm.
just as an example, I want to show you one such list. So if you look at this list,
yeah,
so
now
these
I
are
can.
the names for all the tropical cyclones, the hurricanes in the North Atlantic Ocean, right? This is the towards the US. So these are all predetermined. If you see 2025 names are predetermined till 2030, all the names are already predetermined.
Mm.
Hmm.
So as and when the storms come, they'll just start running down the list. The first one of the year will be Andrea, the second one of the year will be Barry, the third one will be Chantal, and so on and so forth. Right? So that is how the
Okay.
nomenclature takes.
For the listeners, we are of course going to put this up, but
Yes.
basically what Sandy is showing us is there are like 15 or 20 names alphabetically listed for each year from 2025 to 2030. And that's what he's talking about right now. So you'll see this on our Instagram.
Yeah. So just I'll just quickly read through the asterisk mark for notice here. The names are applied in alphabetical order each year. The lists are recycled every 6 years. For example, names from 2019 are to be reused in 2025 and so on. Names can be retired if used once for exceptional hurricanes. I'll come to this point later on. Yeah.
Exceptional hurricanes, as in hurricanes that are way too destructive, right? Like that
Yes.
have had.
Yes. Yes. So, in the North Indian Ocean, we get names from India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Thailand, Myanmar, and etc. and the
Mm.
sort of the regional countries in the surrounding. That's why we had storms named Tokte, Tokte, which means gecko in Burmese, or Mocha,
Yeah.
and not the coffee kind. It was named by the authority from Yemen. Then Gulab, which means rose for those of you who don't know, but it was anything but roses. It was a very horrible cyclone. And then I think all of us might remember the cyclone Funny. Funny, which was a few years ago, which made headlines just because of the pronunciation. People thought it was funny. It was not really funny. It was terrible
Dis-
destruction it caused during the on the
Yeah.
on the eastern coast of India, if I'm not mistaken, like in Odisha, West Bengal, and all of those areas,
Yes. Yeah.
right?
Toke,
Uh,
the what you were saying, that's also, it's not just the name, it is also the lizard makes that sound. It's disgusting. When we were in
uh-huh.
Indonesia, I have PTSD from that. When we were in Indonesia, tokes used to come and they would literally make the sound, like they would say toke. And
Mm.
it's horrifying. It is like legitimately horrifying. Also because of my fear of lizards, but in general also it is like they're larger. They make this sound. Why are they making this sound? Anyway, I'm digressing. I'm spiraling. So Sandy, get back to what you were saying.
Yeah. So each country submits a list of names and they are used in a set order. There is no last minute, let's name it something fun committee anywhere going on, which makes all these decisions, right? As surprising as it may sound, for the sake of repeating myself, the names are pre-decided and pre-approved well in advance, right?
Mhm.
And obviously, like Ashmita alluded to there, we'll be sharing a couple of lists that are already pre-decided for the next probably 5 years or so. Now, we'll move on to the part of why certain names are retired, right? There are certain names which are retired, and there are new names which are added to the roster. Some names are just way too iconic for all the wrong reasons. And to be very honest, they are rather traumatic. That's why they are retired.
Yeah,
If a storm causes major destruction or loss of life, its name is retired forever.
Mm.
You might wonder why, though there is no reason to. Why? It's because out of respect for the victims, obviously, to avoid future confusion. And let's be honest, no one else really wants another Katrina or another funny,
Mm.
right? So that's why. That's why once the cyclone or the hurricane is destructive enough and it has caused major loss of life and property, then they just decide to retire them so that it does not keep bringing up bad memories time and time again. Some famous retired names, Katrina, like I just alluded to. There was this cyclone in the Philippines, probably typhoon then, in the Philippines called Haiyan. It was in 2013. I might be pronouncing it wrong, but please bear with me. Then the Hurricane Sandy in 2012 in the USA. There was a cyclone called Amphan in 2020, which struck India and Bangladesh, the regions there. So all of these are some of the names which have been retired over the years. Obviously, there must be a lot more, but these are just
yeah.
three, four of the kind.
Mm.
But that doesn't stop the weird ones from showing up.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So when you say retired, which means, of course, they will not use the same name again.
Mhm.
But in case, isn't it the way that if they've used a name for a hurricane or a typhoon, they won't use it again anyway in the future to avoid the confusion of naming and the
Yes.
year, like we discussed.
Yeah.
So what's it? I get the sentiment behind retiring the name, but how does it work then? Because the name will anyway be retired or will not be used
Mhm.
again in future, right?
Mhm.
No, every 6 years it's recycled. No.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then they won't use the same name again. Let's say
Yeah.
if there's a hurricane named Prakhar, but it wasn't very like destructive enough. So
Mhm.
my now there will never be another Prakhar
No, there
hurricane
will
There
again
be.
in
will
the
be.
future.
There
There
will
will
be.
be.
They
After
will.
6 years, you can recycle the same list
Yes.
again,
Okay.
unless
Okay.
they are retired.
Yes. So for
Okay.
in this
Okay.
case, like Katrina was retired, so there was some other name starting with K which was added to the roster then. Does that make sense? So
Okay.
maybe a Kathy or a Karen or something like that, right? So
So when in future, if you use, let's say, Prakhar Hurricane, but then you add the year also with along with it, so that you know
yes,
which year it was.
yes,
If there were
yes,
multiple sim, okay.
If there were
right,
multiple prakhars.
yes.
Expose.
So there may or may not be multiple Prakhars, but what there might be are, when I say multiple, probably a couple of ads coming up right now. Yeah. So for us, Prakhar is very unique, but the ads might not be so unique. You might end up listening to them once or twice. So please bear with us, and we'll see you on the other side of these ads. Now that we've got you back from the break, the next segment is something I wanted to just explore a handful of some weird ass cyclone names over the past
Mm-hmm.
however many years. So some of these names are just either outright disappointing or a serious case of like bad branding exercise. I genuinely wonder who approved like some of these names, right? Like imagine they are a serious bunch of people sitting around a table deciding this list of names. They're like, yeah, this sounds fine to us. Let's go ahead with this. So this one I've been referring to for quite some time now. Cyclone Bob, right?
Mm.
1991. Sounds more like a friendly neighborhood postman, no?
Yeah.
Rather than a cyclone. I mean, it could be anyone, but Bob is not something that incites fear within you, right?
None
The
of these names do, to be honest.
Yeah.
No, Shakti might.
Except,
Shakti might. Shakti is
I
literally
don't
power.
know. Yeah, but like I don't know. It's always used in a positive context in India.
Yeah, fair.
So yeah,
Mm.
so I don't know. And also like none of them, like especially Sandy, it just doesn't. It absolutely, so I don't think any thought was placed into this at all. They were just taking names that I don't know came
I
up in the
think they were using
newspaper.
this. You have those random name generators online. No, this is
Ah,
clicking.
like
What's the
those,
next name?
those old, remember those old on TV while, I think ads were playing or something like that, they would have the number lottery
Yeah,
thing. What is
yeah,
that
yeah.
called?
Mm.
Yeah, so something like
Lotto,
that would have probably.
something like Lotto.
Lotto, yeah,
Yeah.
Mm.
Lotto. So probably something would have come up like that. Like scientists would be standing like this, posing, and then they would, click on it. It would
That's
be fun.
nice. Maybe we should visualize that more. Anyway, the next one is Cyclone Freddy. This took place in 2023, one of the recent ones. It
Mhm.
lasted for more than a month. Imagine a hurricane lasting for more than a month.
Jesus.
It broke all records in terms of destruction. It still sounds like a very sleepy hedgehog, though, right? Like, like
Where was this? Where was this?
Freddy, I think, was in the US. Then there was another one called Typhoon Pongsona. This was in 2002. It literally translates to garden balsam flower. Very cute name.
Balsam? Balsam?
Uh, I don't know. Balsam, balsam. How do you pronounce it? Balsam.
I don't know. What does this word mean?
It's a kind of flower basically. Balsam flower. It's a
Ah,
kind of
okay.
flower,
Okay, okay.
right?
Okay.
So Pongsona translates to garden balsam flower. Very cute name. Horrifying storm by all accounts. Then my personal favorite, Cyclone Gonu, from 2007. Right?
Gonu.
Very real name. Also sounds like someone who forgot to pay rent. Right? Right? Or a pet name for a dog or a kid. I mean, they're often interchangeable, especially in North India.
Child. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
When you say Gonu, I remember this one particular friend of Prakhar's boys group. It is like that, his face just pops up in my head.
The
The irritating
problematic
one.
one. The most problematic
Who's
one.
Listen, all of you are problematic. The the chap whose nickname starts with G anyway.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ah, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
His
got
name, his face just popped up. I was like, yeah, that sounds like Gonu. Yes.
it.
Also, Mocha was a very real cyclone in 2023. It was a category 5 storm, the biggest category you can go. That's as far as you can
Mm.
go, right? It was a category 5 storm that brought utter destruction in its wake. Well, it was called Mocha. There's this very side tidbit. Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on your point of view, till date, There has been no storm named Karen, right?
There
Mm-hmm.
is one I saw in the list in 2025. Karen is
It
featured as a
it
list. So,
it might have been added after Katrina was retired, So
Mm.
okay, okay.
right? Makes sense, right? Katrina was so bad
Yeah.
that they had to retire it. So, and Karen was the most obvious choice, I feel, starting with K,
Yeah,
because it's so synonymous with a lot of other things a lot of people, come across on a daily basis.
Karens. Yes.
Yeah. Now, the next one, this I've started. I like this a lot. I've tried to incorporate some game segments in all of my episodes
Yeah,
here on. So I hope you guys had fun in the last one also that we did.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this one I am titling it as Storm or Sus, right? So again, like it, I'll give you a name. You guys decide whether it's a storm or it's sus. Easy
Okay.
enough? Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
So I'll start with Ashmita, alphabetically
Mm-hmm.
going with the theme, Hurricane Bertha, storm or sus?
Storm.
Prakhar,
Sus.
it is a storm. It hit the US multiple
Mm.
times since the 1950s. Multiple times because again, the 6-year cycle, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
It actually sounds like someone who sells jam at a farmer's market, but who am I to say?
Yes, I like the image that pops up with Bertha is like an old kind lady, she's just go ahead.
Yeah. Prakhar, your turn.
Next.
Yeah.
Cyclone Dinkle, storm or sus?
It is too weird and too weird to be not included as a storm, so it is a storm. Like it is real name.
Ashmita?
Really? I thought it was sus. It doesn't sound like a name.
So Cyclone Dinkle is sus. It is
Ah,
not a real name, at least not yet. It sounds like a Pokemon, right? Dinkle.
yeah.
Or the noise your knee makes when you get up, right? The popping sound.
Sandy, we need to go to the doctor. Nobody's knee is making that sound, Sandy.
What are you saying?
Dink.
Everybody's knee makes a sound after, especially post 30.
No, Sandy.
Yes,
It
it
Jesus.
does.
shouldn't. It shouldn't.
It shouldn't. We need to talk about this after the episode is over. If your knee is making sounds, I'm concerned.
Anyway, back to you, Ashmita. Typhoon
Jesus.
Noru, storm or sus?
Noru,
Yeah.
storm.
Prakhar,
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, I think it's a storm.
it is a storm, a very real one. It hit the Philippines in 2022.
I mean, like,
Uh,
not for the storm.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it sounds more like a street snack, no? Noru,
Yeah.
like
Noru, yeah.
a street food of some kind. But it
It
was
was in Philippines, right?
in Philippines, yes.
I guessed it right. Like this I thought in mind. It could be somewhere near Philippines, because of the name.
Yeah. Also, like I'm also giving you the nomenclature. So this one was
Yeah.
Typhoon Noru. So typhoon
Mm.
automatically it means it hit that
Ah, okay.
Philippines, Japan, China,
Southeast
that area,
Asian.
right?
Yeah.
So similarly, when I
East.
say hurricane, it's towards the US and cyclones are
Mm.
closer to India. So just the generic thumb rule.
Okay.
Then next one, Prakhar, your turn. Hurricane Zamblat, storm or sus?
I don't think it's a name. Like it's a sus. It's too
Same.
big a name
Ashmita?
to be a.
Sus. Because I can't pinpoint where this would like which area's name this would, this is common in. So it seems like you made it
Yeah.
up.
It is definitely a sus, absolutely made up, but
Yeah.
convincing enough, convincing enough. It sort of feels like a villain in a bad 80s movie or something, right? Zamblat has come for world domination.
Yeah, it
A
was
Bond
too,
villain of
to be
some kind.
Zamblat.
honest, it was too fake a name to be
Yeah,
a
yeah,
storm.
yeah.
So that's why it seemed very
Yeah.
sus.
I would not use this in a emergency situation.
Yeah.
There's a hurricane Zamblat or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whoever is on the other end of the radio would be like, could you spell that out, please? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that would be horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what fails it. So while keeping a track of them, also keep in mind that these need to be very simple and clear to understand in the first
Yeah.
row,
Yeah.
because emergency warnings,
Yeah.
right? So that is
Yeah.
another way you can sort of filter them out. Ashmita, yeah, your turn now.
Yeah.
Cyclone Yaas, storm or
Sorry?
sus? Cyclone
Cyclone?
Yaas, Yaas,
Nyas.
Yaas,
Yeah.
Yaas, Pi double A S, Yaas, storm or sus?
This has to be sus, dude.
Prakhar?
I I think it's a storm.
It is a storm.
Jesus!
In 2021, it hit the Bay of Bengal. It was very, very close to home. It was pronounced
Then why was it named
Yas.
Yeah?
It was
Huh.
pronounced Yas, like the way the kids say Yas,
Yeah.
YASSSSS. It was pronounced that. Obviously, it sort of became a meme, but it was anything but a meme. It was like very tragic,
Yeah.
very destructive. It did slay, unfortunately and very literally. The next one,
Cannot
it's
believe you just said that, Sandy. I cannot believe you said it did slay.
yeah, but really, and I don't mean that in a funny way. I mean, it was very, very horrific. Prakha, your turn. Typhoon
Yes.
Wukong, storm or sus?
Sus.
Ashmita,
Storm.
it is a storm. It was very real.
Hmm?
It was named after the monkey king in Chinese mythology, named Wukong. If you ask me, I have no notes based on this. Just excellent branding, excellent naming,
Hmm.
zero notes. Then,
Why?
because Wukong is, at least in Chinese mythology, it's a very synonymous name. Wukong is very well known.
Hmm.
It's a very famous game also. And
Really?
yeah. Wukong, a Black Myth on PlayStation. It's actually an excellent game. And Wukong is a massive part of Chinese mythology, so it's very synonymous. So as soon as you,
Hmm.
so that's why it's very easy to comprehend. People won't be asking you twice when you say something like
Hmm.
cyclone or typhoon Wukong is approaching, right? So it's very clear, very out there.
Hmm.
Now back to you, Ashmita. Hurricane Quibble, storm or sus? Hurricane
Hurricane?
Quibble,
Sus.
Prakhar.
Yeah, sus.
It is sus, not real. It sounds like a
Hmm.
storm that brings about some inconvenience at best. It was a slight quibble, like
Hmm.
Yeah.
moderate inconvenience and annoyance
Yeah.
at best. Next, back to you, Prakhar. Cyclone Chapala, storm or sus?
I think it's a storm.
Same.
Ashmita,
I also think it's a storm.
it's a very real storm. It struck Yemen in 2015. Sounds like a low budget beach resort, but anything but. It was a very real storm,
Oh my
right?
God.
Back to you, Ashmita. Hurricane Bipo, storm or sus?
Storm.
Prakhar,
Yeah, I also think it's a storm.
got you there. It's 100% sus, 100% fake, but I genuinely want to adopt it. I mean, it sounds ready-made as a storm name, no? Like when you keep name
Yeah.
Fully
something
does.
Gonu and Mocha, like Bipo is right up there, like up there
Yeah,
with
yeah,
them,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
fully, I would buy it. Yeah.
The last one for now, Prakhar, Typhoon Goring, storm or sus?
Typhoon Goring.
Goring,
I think it's a storm.
Same.
Ashmita.
I also think it's a storm.
It's a very real typhoon, active as recently as 2023 in the Philippines. It still sounds like someone's nosy neighbor, no? Like, Goring is annoying the fuck out of me. Something like that.
Yeah.
Sandy, you have a tell, which is very specific to this, okay?
Mhm,
You have a very easy time making up names that are more Western, but
mhm,
as soon as it comes to more Eastern part,
mhm.
uh, it you are uncomfortable making up the names, so it becomes very clear
Also,
from
there's a reason for
that.
that, no? Because while growing up, we've been exposed to Western culture a lot more than the Eastern
Yeah,
culture,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
All our
yeah,
TV
yeah,
shows,
Mm.
all our movies, everything
yeah,
was Western and American mostly, right? So I
yeah.
know a lot
So
more
it's
about their culture than I know about some Southeast Asian cultures, right?
Southeast Asian and East Asian also. So
Yeah.
it like
Yeah.
it became, because the one you tried was a fully villainous name. So it became very clear. That's how I guessed this last one. Not I had no other
Yeah.
benchmark.
Yeah. But yeah, nice game. Did you guys have fun
I
playing
did.
that?
Yes.
I feel so
So
bad though. These must have caused like actual loss
Yeah.
of
yeah,
life.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
we are having fun with the names. I feel genuinely bad a little bit.
Just FYI, we are having fun at the nomenclature of the storms, not at the actual storms. So if you can't tell the difference, then I'm sorry for you. It's the naming
Of
of the
course,
storms that is
Fair
yes.
fun,
enough.
right?
Of course. It just like now
No,
that
I
I think
mean,
of the consequence of the whole thing, I feel a
no,
little
but
bad.
there are you will always find people who will be like, "Oh my God, you're making fun of this." No, we are not. If anything, I am making
Okay, to
fun
be
of the
honest,
actual naming of the storms, which is
also
very
Hmm.
ridiculous.
also I don't think such people would be listening to us. Like it unless this is
Yeah.
the first episode they come across. Like if they have listened to our previous episodes, they'll be like, these guys are not my thing. And they will leave.
True. True.
Sensitivity is not something we are keeping up over here. So
So yeah, that draws me to the very final bit of my episode. Final thoughts. What did we learn, if anything? Any key takeaways from your end, Ashmita?
yeah, that there's no, which is very disappointing. I thought there would be more thought put to the names, but apparently not. It's almost like a lotto, which I'm totally imagining, by the way. My key learning is my imagination that they do it like a lotto.
Prakhar, any key takeaways from your end?
I get the process of the naming. Of course, the names are funny, but the purpose of naming them is what I get,
Yeah,
which is pretty nice.
yeah,
Earlier, like I thought they were just pretty random and they were just making names up on the spot.
yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, but it is pre-decided for the next 5-10 years. That is pretty crazy to me.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
And
I
that's
it's
also
what
thought
I
nice.
they
was
were
under
like,
the impression also. I thought like,
Yeah.
oh my God, there's a storm approaching. Let's start naming it quickly, quickly, quickly. Come up with a
Yeah.
give me
yeah, and
some name.
whatever comes up, yeah, whatever comes up, whoever fastest finger first, whoever
Yeah,
comes up with it fastest, we are going to go with that. But that's not the case, which is interesting.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a method to the madness. That's the basic gist of it, right?
Yeah.
So let me just tie it all up in a very neat bow. I won't take more than a couple of minutes. Naming storms isn't just about creativity, it's about communication, clarity, and avoiding total chaos. Also, at the same time, humans are going to be humans. So now we have a list of terrifying storms that sound like probably rejected contestants from a cooking reality show, right? So that's where we are with the nomenclature of these cyclones and typhoons and hurricanes. So the next time you hear about a cyclone Biparjoy or a hurricane Larry, just remember that someone somewhere sat in a very official meeting and said, "Yes, Larry, that's the one. We'll stick with it and we'll persist with it for
Also,
till the end of time, until and unless Larry creates total destruction." So we'll stick
also
with
Yeah.
Larry. Yeah.
in 2030, I saw on the list there's a name called Kirk, which I feel is very appropriate. That is the most appropriate name.
Kirk.
So obviously, I'll be sharing the sources for this. One of my primary sources, I would be remiss to if I didn't say that it was from the official WMO site itself, the World Meteorological Organization, which basically decides all the nomenclature. So if I
Hmm.
took this information from anywhere else, it'd be a massive joke and a massive slap in my face because ultimately
Yeah.
they are the ones doing it. Obviously, there's a little bit of Britannica and Wikipedia also involved, so we'll be sharing those links. So yeah, that's my episode. Hope you guys had fun.
And because we
Um,
broke for ad only once, you're going to have to listen to end roll ads, please.
yeah, I'm sure they'll suffer through it if they want to. That's fine.
Recommendation time.
My recommendation. So today, this basically, I had no recommendation up until yesterday, but Ashmita was watching
You
this
had
show.
Excuse me, you had no episode until yesterday. Sandy, you just said that you prepared this yesterday.
Yes, hence why till yesterday.
To nonsense. Yeah,
Anyway,
go
so
ahead.
this came to me when Ashmita has been watching this animated show called Disenchanted, and
Mm-hmm.
Disenchantment.
Disenchantment. Yes, I don't know if it's a recurring character or one of the characters, but one of the characters had this very distinct voice, which suddenly struck me, and it sort of rekindled a long lost memory of mine of a TV show called The Toast of London. And the main protagonist is, I think his name is Stephen Toast in that, and it's played by this actor called Matt Berry. Matt Berry is voicing one of the characters in the show that you're watching currently, Ashmita.
Ah, okay.
And
I didn't know that.
yeah, Matt Berry also, for those of you who have seen What We Do in the Shadows, the vampire comedy show, he's also one of the vampires in that show. He has a very distinct delivery and way of
Mm-hmm.
talking, and as soon as that character started speaking, it instantly hit me that, oh fuck, this is Matt Berry. And it's the way he delivers those lines is just funny as fuck, and I really like his work. So Toast of London, it's a relatively short series. I think there are about 3 or 4 seasons, but it's standard classic British humor, very dry as fuck, very witty, very sarcastic, but it's at the very same time it's hilarious as fuck. It's one of the best comedy shows I've seen out there. It's not laugh out loud
Mm-hmm.
funny, but it's hilarious in the most British way possible. So if any of you out there who haven't seen The Toast of London, please do go and watch it. Can't recommend it highly enough.
Do you
Uh,
know where this is? Like, if is it streaming somewhere or something, or do we have to like do the illegal things?
I don't recall where I watched it, but I'm sure you can Google it if it's not anywhere else. You definitely in India, people know where all to watch it. So I'm sure you will figure some way, you will figure some way out of watching it. But yeah, the Toast of London. As a taster, you can go to YouTube and watch some clips. It's funny as fuck. So yeah, that's my recommendation of
Also,
the week.
this character, what Matt Berry is playing is, I just looked it up. He is one of the more like, he's not main characters, but
Uh,
he is one of the more recurring characters, and a funny as fuck character. Yes, very
and he
very
has a
good.
very weird way of delivering his lines. He emphasizes on
Yes,
certain consonants and vowels, and it just comes out in
yes.
a very funny, wavy sort of way. And
This one
that
is
is what.
Prince Mortimer in Disenchantment, and Prince Mortimer is a royal, like he's a prince, of course, and
Yeah,
he's also a pain in the ass. He's
yeah,
absolutely annoying as fuck, but yeah, the actor is very good with it. Like, absolutely
Mm.
brilliantly done.
yeah, yeah. So
It
yeah,
should
the
be
Toast of
available on
London.
Prime Video. It should be available on
Yeah.
Prime Video, but the problem is that it's not available in India. So either you have to have like a VPN and then try it, or you'll have to download it. It's not
Or you
available on
can
any
you
other.
can you can take the tried and tested route that millions of us have already taken and watch it
Yeah.
some other way. If you want to find out what the other ways are, please write to us at don'tknowdocare1@gmail.com and we'll respond to you with the sites. Or you can slide into our DMs on Instagram at DKTC Podcast. We'd be more than happy to help you out with those sites, with the said sites that can enable you to watch the Toast of London. Please give us likes, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Instagram. Please share it with your friends, probably not with your family, but definitely amongst your friend circle. And it helps us reach out new audiences and helps us do better and probably helps us earn a little bit of money. Please, please, please do suffer through the ads. Hopefully the content is enticing enough for you to suffer through the ads. So uh, and keeping that hope in mind, we'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye bye.